They're buddies. Sable. Here comes Buddy. Sable. Sable. Buddy.
Hi, Johnny, Linda, Jeremiah, Jason, or what's her name?
Jessica.
Jessica, Jason. I don't know where that came from. Well, I guess this is about it. This is going to wrap things up. So, gotta say goodbye now, and we'll see you hopefully this summer. And I hope you guys get everything you want for Christmas, because I know I'm going to.
She wishes.
Sure, I wish. So, you guys just take care, keep in good health, and beat the kids every day, because you know they need it. Even though you don't catch them at things, they're doing stuff where they need a beating, a good one. And, well, I guess that's going to do it.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Jesse, Johnny, Jeremiah, Linda. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Stay safe, warm, and happy. And we will see you this summer. That's all there is to it. What?
I'm just waving goodbye again.
Oh. I love you very much. You've heard enough of me, so bye.
Tell them not to forget to whip the kids.
Oh, that's not me.
Okay.
Bye, I love you.
Throw them a kiss. Say thank you, darling.
She did it.
Hello, everybody. As usual, they save the best for last. This is something that we used to do every Christmas Eve when you kids were little and at home. So I'm going to do it for you now. Don't know if you'll remember or not, but here it is. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The children were nestled all snug in their bed, while visions of sugar plums danced through their head. And they did yours a lot. But out on the lawn there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash.
I always thought that meant vomiting.
When what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. More rapid than eagles, his courses they came. He whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dancer, now Prancer, now Dancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. Up to the porch, on top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away all. Then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each tiny hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, and his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up in a bow, and the beard on his chin was white as snow. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot. His clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back. He looked like the peddler just opening his pack. There's another page here somewhere. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, filled all of his stockings, and then turned with a jerk, laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle. Away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Is that it? You want me to shut it off?
Mhm.
You're not even gonna say I love you and all that stuff?
Already have.
We love you.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
There it is. Isn't it pretty?
Well, tell them what we're doing for them for Christmas.
Well, this is your Merry Christmas present. And
Boy.
Lori, if you want to tell them something, you just jump right on in there. We're going to go around videotaping. We're going to go to 12th and Vine. We're going to go into this church here and see if we can't see that gold-plated Cadillac that God's supposed to come get. And there's that church that you guys seen from the road. Okay, here we go on our merry way. Grand tour.
There's Paula's butt.
Can't miss it, can ya?
Yeah, inside this church there's supposed to be a gold-plated Cadillac that God's supposed to drive around when he comes to get everybody. They're out there working on it now. Where the hell did they go?
You gonna record them guys up there?
Where are they? Hello!
They're working on it.
We're sending this tape to America's Funniest Home Videos.
Well, they might be.
Church.
It's supposed to be open all the time. It's a church.
It's a church. You want to come in here and pray?
Yeah, that one over there. That one's supposed to be if God's a woman. Think about it.
Church is only in session on Sundays.
It's not open? There's Tracy, all the way from Alaska.
I'm the rich one of the family.
Church is only in service on Sundays. Sorry, John.
Well, we don't know if it's true or not about the gold-plated Cadillac then.
Yeah, you probably have to go around in the front.
Oh,
Okay. That's also the one with the
church here?
blinking light on top that if it goes out, only God can change it.
Do you go to church?
shit too.
I didn't think so. Well, we heard that there was supposed to be a gold-plated Cadillac in here.
I don't know. Nobody said anything to me.
And that when God comes back, he's going to drive his Cadillac around.
Supposed to cruise around and pick everybody up, I guess.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Say hello to Johnny.
Hi.
In North Carolina.
That's our
We don't
friend.
know who he is.
You don't
Yeah.
How do we get in this?
He said go around the front.
know? How do we get in there and go around the front?
Yeah,
Like-
they got an information desk and all that in front.
Okay.
Well,
We're sandblasting right now, so you might want to walk around this way. You might
Okay.
get,
yeah,
you might get.
we'll be all right.
Oh, we're not afraid of
Say hi, Blake. Wow. Quite an operation, huh? Isn't that church something else? $30 million to build and design that thing. 30 million bucks. Look, they have guided tours. See? There's more people working. Whoops. Woo!
We had to zip Blake's coat out.
I'm checking them out. Oh boy! Aliens! Oh no! They're aliens! They did.
Okay. This is the Reorganized Church of the Latter-day Saints. The only reason it's reorganized is they can't have multiple wives anymore. That's the only reason. Here we go through the doors. Watch your step. Oh, wow. Cool. What is it? Oh, it's the world.
Let me have the camera. You can talk to the guy.
Is it on? Yeah, it's on. Okay.
Folks interested in the tour, are you?
There she goes.
All right. Would you mind filling out a card
Can we
here?
just walk around a little bit?
Well, we have a guide here who can take you home.
Oh, right waiting?
Yes.
Okay, great. There's Lori's.
Yeah, well, it should be in about 5 minutes.
Okay, we can wait. What's today's date?
21st.
21st.
It's December 21st,
Yeah.
the first day we went to.
We can tape with the video camera.
Sure. Sure, there's nothing secret here.
Tape that. That's pretty cool.
Take any pictures you want. There are as many as you want. Don't take one of me, though. You'll shatter your lens. Sure.
I already gotcha.
Oh, bye.
Where's Zoom?
Now, there's a short video. It's just about, how long is that video? About 10 minutes? Yeah. And there's a video that explains a lot of things to you and so on. And then the young lady,
Where's Zoom, Lori?
Alta, will take care of you. Yes, young lady.
Okay. Where are you from?
Alaska.
Well, we're sending the tape to North Carolina. And they were here on vacation and they wanted pictures of the churches, so, yeah.
Fine. Have you been over to the place? Well,
Yeah, that thing is something else.
yes, it is. You're a lot bigger. Everybody's welcome. There's tours over there. I did. Thank you. This is Alta and Sheila.
Let's go in and watch the video. Then I'll take you in the conference chamber.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, hold on a second.
Maybe she'll play the organ for you too while she's
That's
in
pretty
there.
cool. How do you get this thing to pause or whatever?
Just, where's it at?
Still?
Yeah. Okay.
And you see the video and it will
That
tell
is
you
neat.
all kinds of things.
Oh, we'll be in there in a minute.
Oh, that is neat.
I'll start this. That'll get them sitting down.
Okay.
And I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's go down to the center aisle.
This is neat. Who's behind me? There's a- Yeah, this is pretty cool, isn't it, Tracy? Okay, we sit down here?
Right here. I'll try to explain anything you want to know.
Okay.
This is part of the world headquarters for the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You're in the auditorium and that you're sitting in the conference chamber, which every 2 years we have a world conference. In April of this next year, 1994, this place will be full of people from all over the world. World conference. We will have you just excuse that part because they're working on something. There will be priesthood, non-priesthood, men, women, whatever, sometimes a teenager in the delegation. And they come from, and they're usually elected by where they're from. Let's say you're from Australia.
Right.
The people in Australia will be the one that decide what delegates come here. And the vote of the delegate is what decides what happens to the church. And the head of the church, which is Wallace B. Smith, who is a great-grandson of Joseph, is in charge up front, but he does not tell you how to vote. He merely guides you. Now, this room holds, 5,800 people. The delegation sits downstairs. the visitors sit upstairs. Anyone who can find a seat can come. Doesn't matter whether you belong to the church or not. The organ that you're hearing is an Olean Skinner built in Boston, Massachusetts, quite a long time ago. Let's see. No, that's not the head organist there. That's someone else, but he was up there too. John Obitz is the head organist for the church. And we have 24 staff organists, and out of that 24, there's quite a few of them that are church members, but not all. We don't require they have to be, as long as they're willing to come and practice and play, and we have recitals in the summertime every day, and in the winter time on Sunday afternoon at 3, that anybody is welcome to. This building was built in 1926. It's, I don't know, how old is it now? 60-some years old, probably. It is the main reason for the building is for World Conference. Now, there's offices all over on the sides. You can tell by the shape of this room that there can't be offices in the middle. It's got 6 floors to it. The first floor downstairs has a big dining hall. It is run by what they call it the Laurel Club, and it's run by men and women, mostly retired, and it's a club, and they don't get paid for what they do. They just like to do it. And so when they get money together from the banquets and whatever, then they give it to something. For instance, they put a new rug in here.
Right.
All the way up. Now, this building is also built on ramps, very few steps in the building. And so when this room exits, you don't have to worry about going up and down steps. There's a few elevators, but mostly it's ramps. And I'll show you that in a couple of minutes here. We have a Handel's Messiah choir in November, has 350 voice choir, a full orchestra, plus the organ. You don't have to be a member of the church to be in that choir. If you love to sing and you're willing to be here and you can carry a tune, that's what it takes. And it's a really great thing to be in. Everybody that has been in it just will come they come as far as Oklahoma and Kansas and Iowa and whatever, just to sing in the choir. And so, anyway, it's a good thing. Over here, where you see the dark windows, that's the place where people sit to translate from one language to another. We have a radio system in here, so if you're from Tahiti, Japan, wherever you're from, you'll hear it in your language. Now, the delegation, let me tell you a little more so you understand what this building's about. Not just the building, really the people. But the people built the building, just like they built the temple over here. Up and down the aisles, they have lecterns. They don't have them here now. And so if you're a delegate and you want to speak to the conference, you get up, you punch in your name, the president of the church will call on you, and you have a right to speak. If you have an issue to bring, you have a right. Although your issues have to be in before conference, so everybody has a chance to read them. We believe in divine revelation. It comes through our prophet, and it does come every conference almost. We can't always tell. When a revelation is given, it is read first up front. Although last conference, the president of the church on the night before preached a sermon, and he included the revelation in it. And that's the first time he had done it that way. But usually it's read before the body of the people here. And of course they're all broken up in different segments, like Center Stake, Blue Valley Stake, Kansas City Stake, Los Angeles Stake, they all have their own areas. Tahiti sits in this area. Australia has their area, and so forth. It's like that. So when a revelation is given, then the people have a right to examine it, to compare it with the scriptures. They don't just accept it. In other words, very often they know it's from God, but they have this right. And so they do that. And they assemble back in here, and after they've met in their quorums, Council of 12, the quorum of elders, a quorum of Aaronic priesthood, the members that are not priesthood, who are delegates also. And so then they give their report, how they accept this or not. And not everybody's always in agreement. In 1984, they gave a revelation. There was a revelation from God, and it says, build the temple. It also said, women have a right to the priesthood. Didn't say it like that. You almost have to read it to understand it. It said a lot of things. There was a man sitting right up there from Arkansas. This man, when he heard them read that revelation, he says, I heard a choir of angels. He wasn't a church member even. Most outstanding thing he had ever had happen in his whole life. He went back to Arkansas, was baptized, and now pastor of a church down there. He came through here last year. I was his guide. I didn't hardly say a word. He was so full of testimony, and he kept pointing to that seat. I was sitting over here in the balcony because I wasn't a delegate. When it came time for the vote of whether to accept the revelation or not, God always gives a witness. And I could feel it moving, a force moving around this room. I could feel it when it entered my body, and it went clear around the room. There was hardly a dry eye in the place. And they, of course, voted for it. And it passed. And then they brought the prophet in. He's usually out during this time, so you have a right to say what you want, without him worrying about it. They brought him in, and everybody stood and sang, we thank thee, O God, for a prophet. That's a moving time also. And so from that point, they began to gather money for that building. Started to. Just this one little thing. Would you like to know how they got it?
The building?
The money.
The money.
Yeah.
See, this building here is sitting right on the temple lot. That building's on the temple lot. There's a little building right over here that's on the temple lot, and also over here. Well, they told us that however we wanted to, if you don't have any money, if you have an old chicken, people in Africa live in grass huts. The women in Africa, you know how they have all these beads from here to here? Well, they took some of those off, sent them back here with some baskets they had made. I've got 2 of the necklaces. I've got a basket. That money went for this. Whatever you had, they didn't care how much or whatever, And within a very short period of time, they had over $60 million. And that from little people everywhere. I sat down with my budget, figured what I could give. They didn't say you have to do anything. But they did need it. And this is a dream that Joseph Smith had from 1831 when he walked here from New York and chose a spot for the temple. And there's 63 acres in that temple lot. And like I said, this is part of it. It goes clear down to the railroad tracks in the back.
Okay.
And so 60 million, that building never has had 1 cent owed on it. They built.
And
Took
paid
2
for it.
years to build, and during that 2 years there was hardly any rain or snow in the winter. It was beautiful for 2 years.
Well, that's great.
And then when it was finished, we were all talking about this. You know how you do. We wondered what our winter was going to be like from there on, because we felt like he had made it good winter, and
Yeah.
so we had ice and snow, lots of it.
So did they use all the money?
To build.
The 60
pretty
million?
well, but there is another amount that they're gathering together now, and that's to operate everything.
Oh,
It's 25
because I had heard that it
million.
was 30 million to build that church.
35 million it cost,
Yeah,
plus other money for
Others.
property acquisition and so forth.
right.
And there is another amount they want to put in the bank and use the interest to run it, because they're going to be doing so many things over there, and they're bringing people from all over the world. We had a peace colloquy December the 3rd, and we had all religions here. We had an international women's conference in June, 4,500 women from all over the world here. We had an international youth conference in July. We had a high priest conference. We had a Council of 12 and 70s conference, and so forth. Anyway, it's been busy here. Now, do you have any? I know I'm not telling you.
That's
Everything.
okay.
That's okay.
Have you got any questions that I can answer? Well, anyway, the temple is built. I can tell you the story of the.
Is it open?
Oh yeah, it's open. It will always be open to every person all over the earth.
We want to go over and take some pictures of
Yeah,
it too.
you want to go over and just walk through it, because, and they take you on they have guides over there. I guide over there on Tuesdays usually, but I just happened to trade with somebody today to be here. They have a big organ over there too, and you need to go into that sanctuary and look up, because you look up almost 200 feet. It's designed after the chambered knotless shell, one of the earliest living things on the earth. And I'll tell you one more story, and then I'll take you for a walk so you can see how the ramps are. About 24, 25 years ago, there was a young man and his wife that came from St. Louis here. And we have reunion grounds all over the world. We have one about 30 miles north. It's got 2 lakes on it, a big lodge, tabernacle, cabins, you name it. They've got all, and a swimming pool and so forth. Well, we have not only family reunions, but we have youth camps and all kinds of things that go on up there. Well, they came to a youth camp. He was a Catholic. I don't know what this man had been, but this man was a Catholic, and his wife was a member of our church. And so when they were at Donovan, he asked to be baptized because he liked what was going on. So they baptized him in Lake Donovan. With the laying on of hands, he was told he would help build the Lord's temple. He had no idea what that meant. We hadn't even made any plans yet. He went home, told his mother back to St. Louis. 20 years later, here we are going to build a temple. We have 85 architectural firms we're choosing from. And of course, they knocked them all down until they had 3 left. He was a member of one of those firms. So you can imagine what was starting to go through his mind. A lot of memories coming back to him. They wanted it so bad, that firm, that he finally got brave enough to say, we're going to get it. Because of, what happened to him then. Nobody had any idea he was a member of the church. We didn't know it. It was on our records, yes. The ones that had been in Lake Donovan, it was on their records. They would remember. If too many years, 20 years down the way, they may not remember. You never know. But anyway, they were the ones that got it without anybody knowing what had happened to him, really. He helped design the building. And so his dream came true in a sense, didn't it? Wouldn't you love to have that happen to you?
No kidding.
Yeah. And here he was an innocent guy that didn't have any idea. And since the building has been built and has been pre-dedicated several times by different groups like the women and the teenagers and so forth, World Conference in April, it will have the main dedication like they did the Kirtland Temple. I don't know how they're going to do it because we already have 350 Tahitians coming, not counting all the other countries. And we put them up, you know, in our houses.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. The people that come in, if they can't get hotels and motels and whatever, and if they don't have a big RV, you know, whatever, we've got a campus over here where they have RV places. It's just like a trailer city over there.
Right.
Then we put them up in our own homes. And I already have mine place filled right now. And that's not until April, see. And so when that time comes, they'll have the main dedication, whatever they're going to do. So it should be good. The women, 4,500 of them, circled the temple 4 times, shoulder to shoulder, with candles, like little electrical
That would have been
type
pretty.
candles. It was in the evening, so it was beautiful. Okay, there's all kinds of things that are happening in that temple right now. Nobody has any idea. It's just like this boy being told that he's going to help build the Lord's temple. We don't know when a person walks in that door over there, or even in this building, what's going to happen to them. Because they walk into a force field sometime of the Spirit. Now, it doesn't happen to everybody, but it does happen. And just like one fellow walked in there the other day, and he was told by God that this was his place where he should be. And he walked up the worshiper's path, which you will go on, and he was told that again. So all kinds of things are happening to different people, wherever they're from. Any questions? You want to follow me then? Have I told you enough? These are acoustical clouds up here that you see hanging from the ceiling. They keep the sound from bouncing.
Well,
Did it say REC in front of you?
Go down or up, pitch all the way.
I see.
Now, did I hear you say you were going over to the Headley Church too?
Yeah.
Okay. Just.
Okay, here we are back at the
You never
exit.
know
Okay.
quite what he will say to you, so. For instance, I had 2 men come to me and they said, I don't understand something. He said that wasn't the temple. And yet we come over here and the sign says the temple. He also said it was built on sand and it's on solid bedrock.
Yeah.
And they've drilled out stone that big around 275 times and it's anchored on that. So is this building.
Oh, they're
So-
probably not going anywhere for a while.
No, not going anywhere.